going on? Are we all okay? Are we doing okay? Yeah. Ted, I hate you. You're so fucking good looking, sat there, being all young with your teeth and your nice face and your hair. How old did you say you were? 23. Oh, fuck off, Ted. I would eat my cereal out of those dimples, you know. I am just not on board with it, Ted. Because look, right, and you were a Pilates teacher, yeah? Yeah? Okay, good. Oh. Oh. Anyway, don't worry about it, Ted. That's fine. It's all about me now. So what's been going? Because I'm not from here, right? I'm from the north of England, right? And I'm living the London dream now because I live in someone else's cupboard in East London. Yeah, I'm a soy boy, and it's good because what happened to me is basically I'm from like a rough place. Do you know when people say, oh, I grew up rough? I feel like when you grow up rough, you don't know any different, right? Like I just assumed where I grew up, the bins were meant to be on fire. You know what I mean? I always just assumed that the milkman was meant to sell Viagra. That was just what I thought. And then I moved to London, right, where nothing ever happens where I'm from. Nothing ever happens. Like curly fries are still a novelty where I'm from, right? And then I moved to London where everything happens all the time, all at once. 24 hours into being here, I saw 2 nuns in a Pizza Hut. Just stood next to the salad bar being all holy. That was the best day of my entire life. I'd never seen a nun before. I'd never even seen a salad bar. So, you know, it's good. I like, because I live in East London, and East London's like super multicultural, right? It's very different to where I'm from, very multicultural. Every gender, creed, nationality and sexuality have all come together in East London to have one big fight in a kebab shop. It's as close as you can get to social utopia with garlic mayonnaise, Ted. I don't know of a nicer place where you can get on the bus and be told to fuck off in 12 different languages, so... I say, but I feel like everybody, because you're a Pilates teacher, right? I feel like I'm gonna keep on saying it until you get a proper job. I feel like, because we live by trends now, like we live by trends in London. This is the thing I can't get on board with. I get really nervous about things like we live by trends. Everybody looks at the phone and go, oh, this is what I'm meant to be doing. And like when I feel good about myself, when I feel happy with my life, right, every so often my phone will just randomly open on the front camera to remind me that from this angle I look like an old woman's fat knee, right? That's where I'm at. It'll open there, it'll be like, oh, there you go, Jake, just to remind you, you don't have a neck, right? You're just nipples all the way to nose, that's what it is. That's why I have the moustache, to act as a reference point. Foodies, do you know this one? People who are like, oh, I'm a foodie, me. Oh, I love food, couldn't live without food, me. Oh, how quirky about you that is, because personally I can take it or leave it, me, sustenance. Oh. And then when I first moved to London, it was this thing which was food, street food, you know, all those street food where you go outside and you eat food, which was dead cool. But when you think about it for long enough, you realise that street food is basically just eating fish in a car park, isn't it? That's what it is. That is buying a sausage off a man who sleeps in a van. That's what that is. I've never in my entire life been sat in a restaurant and been like, do you know what this lasagna needs? Do you know what this lasagna needs? More wind. That's what that needs. And then there's the other ones, which is like alternative healthcare. Do you know this one? Alternative healthcare, where people like lick fucking stones instead of paracetamol or something like that. Personally, I think it's good form not to take medical advice off the kind of person who would wear a toe ring. Because look, no disrespect, right? But I feel like if don't worry about that. I've panicked now because of what's just happened there. But the worst one for me is, do you all know, have you ever met anybody who rock climbs for a hobby? Oh my goodness me, because they're the worst people in the world, aren't they? They're so absolutely unbelievably boring. I met someone at a house party recently who rock climbed for a hobby, and his name was Cliff, right? And the red flag about Cliff was he didn't think that was funny, right? He was talking to me about, do you know those shoes, the toe shoes? Do you know those shoes with the toes in them? Do you know them? Oh, he's telling me about those. Up until that point, I never felt as a person you could feel sympathy for an avalanche, right? But this was me and Cliff, and I feel like as a society we should probably do something about those toe shoes, because I'm not saying it is, but it has to at least be adjacent to paedophilia, doesn't it? Good, you're all wonderful. I'm Jacob Ryan Murphy, thank you so much.
Hell yeah, folks, how we doing? My name's Zach. A bit about me, I live in London. Not too happy with my current living situation at the moment, because the other day I opened the door, my flatmate having a wank. We were both surprised, you know, as would be. And he turned to me and he said, "What do you want?" And I said, "Dad, not in the garden, what you doing?" But folks, I'm from East London. Now, a lot of people don't believe me when I say that, and it's because I look, dress and sound like someone who moved to this city and made it shit, okay? Even last week, bro, I got into an argument with this guy, right? And at the end of it, he turned to me and he went, "Why don't you just fuck off back to Oxford, you hipster prick," right? And I mean, fair play, I probably deserve that. But it's like I said to him, bro, if you leave your wheelchair unattended, I'm gonna have a go. Do you know what I mean? Don't leave your wheelchair lying around and be surprised to me coming back to do like tricks on it, you know what I mean? On your feet, lose your seat, that's how it works, right, folks? You know, London's changed a lot since I was growing up. So I remember, like, when I was younger, my mum, she stopped me from going to Hackney because on 2 separate occasions that I went to Hackney, right, I got robbed, okay? Fast forward 10 years to now gentrified Hackney, where coffee is £9. Folks, I'm still getting fucking robbed in Hackney, okay? The only difference is now the person robbing me is a Tory with a card machine, you know? But, you know, it was character building growing up in London. And by that, I, of course, mean not a safe environment for children at all. But, you know, I learned to live with it. Because, folks, let's be honest, London is a place where we know deep down, truly, no one gives a fuck about you. Do you know what I mean? You get hit by a car here and it's your fault somehow, you know? Because what are you standing on the pavement for, like a dickhead? You know? Bro, London is the one place in the world where you get stabbed, right? You could be bleeding, dying on the floor, and if you ask someone for help, they'll just say, "Sorry, mate, I haven't got any change." But you know, being around this so much, right, you kind of starts to get to you eventually, you know? You start to become very sort of untrusting, very suspicious of people, even when they're just trying to be nice to you. I'll give you an example of this, okay? The other day, I was in an Uber, right? And I sat down, and before we'd even set off, the driver turned to me and he went, "Thank you for choosing to ride with me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy your journey," right? And I thought, this guy is going to fuck the car off a bridge, right? Who starts an Uber journey like that? Do you know what I mean? What the fuck, bro? It's not how this is supposed to go. How this is supposed to go is I sit down, ask you if you've been busy, you say not really, right? Okay? We do the journey in silence, and I give you 5 stars. That's how it works. Not that fucking American Psycho shit you just pulled on me there. Do you know what I mean? It's the same as this, folks. Imagine, right, you'd ordered food off Deliveroo, okay? And your driver texts you and he says, "Hey, I'm on the way. Hope you enjoy your food." Why? What the fuck did you do to it, bro? Next thing you know, I'm on support saying, "Yeah, I can't be too sure, but I think my driver's cum in my food," you know? But this has gotten to like every facet of my life now, right? I live in a flat, right? I live on the 3rd floor, and I have an intercom to answer the flat. Now, just how I am, when people buzz my flat, I treat it like a massive inconvenience every time, right? My friends say that when I answer the intercom, I sound like they've just interrupted me having a wank, right? Just very lethargic, what do you want, right? But it's for good reason, this, right? So the other day, someone buzzed my flat, and I answered, and it was a woman outside, and she goes, "Hello, we're from Battersea Dogs Home. We're speaking to animal lovers in the area. Are you an animal lover?" And I thought, first of all, what I do with my dog is none of your business, right? But folks, I live in Lewisham, right? So I said to her, I was like, "We're about an hour away from Battersea. Like, what are you doing around here? Why are you here?" And she went silent, right? She didn't answer me. And I went, "Are you lot fucking Jehovah's Witnesses?" And she went, "Yeah." They're getting smart, folks. Don't fall for it. I almost fell for that dog shit, bro, honestly. I had my dog next to me. I was looking at her like, who the fuck have you been speaking to? Do you know what I mean? After everything I've done for you, childline, you know? Anyway, I'll leave you on this final thought. Do you not think, or do you not find it quite ironic that people who complain about finding hair in their food will complain about that, but what they will not complain about is eating someone's arse, you know? I mean, I'm not saying I'm better than those people, but I don't complain about hair in my food, you know? Anyway, folks, you've been wonderful. I've been Isaak Ranger. Thank you.
Yes, good. I'm stressed. I'm very fucking stressed. I'll tell you for why. You might be wondering, my vibe this evening, it's very much, Barbie having a breakdown. And that's because that's true. That's where I'm at tonight. I actually bailed out my best mate's wedding to be here. Yeah. Wish I was lying. No, I'm not. He was offering, like family, friends, wholesome, love. This place was offering a potential £200 cash prize. And I know where my bread's buttered. That's all I'm going to say. I'm from the north. From the north. Yeah, we have some fans of the north in tonight. Fabulous, fabulous. I'm a fan too. And I've been down in London for a little while now. And when I came down here, I brought loads of my northern friends with me, But not all of them survived the past couple of years. They didn't, die or anything. They just, left London and moved to the countryside. So, same difference really, isn't it? Yeah. When I came down here, my friendship group, it was like the cast of Friends, Now it's a little bit more like that spin-off series, Joey, where, I'm Joey, all my friends have fucked off. I've had to make new ones and they're a bit shit. No one told me life was going to be this way. Had to. But like I said, been down here a little while now, and I'm loving it. I am loving it. And when I was up in the north, there's differences. There's clear, stark differences between then and there. And one of the major ones is the fact that when you're there, you get these local eccentrics. Okay, and I'm going to tell you a little story, and I heed you a little warning about these local eccentrics. While you lot, Londoners, you might be thinking of moving to the north. And I'm going to heed you a warning. The rumours, they're true. The houses up there, they are cheaper. The air, it is cleaner. But the people will talk to you. Oh, yes, they fucking will. Total strangers. They'll find you when you're at your most vulnerable. I was back home a couple of weeks ago. Thought, I'll go for a little wander. Make the day feel fun. Went for a little walk. Was outside. Soaking in that stench of manure. Yeah. Shoved my AirPods in, listened to a little podcast about men abducting women. My kind of shit. And I'm walking along, I spot a Tesco's, and I'm like, I'm going to go in. I'm going to buy myself a packet of Quavers, spice the day up a little bit. And I'm in the queue, minding my own fucking business. And then out of fucking nowhere, this little old lady just appeared, as if out of thin air. She was like... Sorry? I said, it looks like rain to me. Yeah, no, I guess you're right. Yeah, it does. And then I was in, fucked it, engaged with the little old lady, had to walk her home. Yeah. She invited me in, she had a packet of Werther's Originals, did a little word search, heard all about how her grandchildren rarely visit anymore. Can't go 2 days without a text from Betty now. And those local eccentrics, they're what I'm warning you about. My town has a few of them. While you were dealing with, knife crime, gang violence, we were too busy dealing with the one man that brings all his chickens into Morrison's in a wheelbarrow. Yeah. It was called Chicken Man George. Lovely fella. Smelled like a bin. Yeah. Next town along, they had Catsuit Sue. Yeah, pretty on-the-nose nickname. She wore a catsuit. Her name's Sue. Iconic. Town along from her, Crackhead Carol. Hey, no, sorry, let's not judge. Carol was not doing drugs. No. But one day, Catsuit Sue came to town and Carol cracked her head open. So that's where that went. Yeah. But to be honest, I'll be honest, London it's changing me, since I've been here. When I came, I had no idea what lactose intolerance was. Now I have it. How the fuck did that happen? Yeah. Get a lot of people repeating my vowel sound since I moved here. That's fun. Yeah, I used to work in central London until pretty recently. I had to quit. I was getting a lot of shit for the way that I answered the phone. Hello, Sir Hotel. Sir Hotel. Sir Hotel. Yes, sir. Are you having an aneurysm or are you fucking lost? Prick. Yeah. Yeah, but like I say, I'll end on a nice note. I am starting to really like it down here. And being a Yorkshire lass in London, it can be quite the conversation starter. People warm to you quite quickly. Or so I tell myself. And I was out with this girl. We were having a drink, and she's a new girl, new friend, posh girl, Tunbridge Wells. I'll say no more. And we sat opposite each other, and she goes, Beth, I was wondering, we're having this little dinner out in Shoreditch. It's like a little party, and I was wondering if you wanted to come. And I was like, Yes, I would love to come to the party in Shoreditch. If you could just let me know when, and thank you. So I rock up to this party, knock on the door, Booth lets me in, and I quickly realised I was being introduced as a novelty guest. Yeah, I walk in, she's like, guys, this is Beth. Beth has milked a cow. And that's how I got my nickname, my local eccentric nickname of Backwards Beth. Thank you very much.
How's it going, guys? Damn, this is a full room. My name is Estefania. I am a Latina, in case my earrings didn't give you that. Oh, nice. Latina, nice. But I don't have any of the perks of being a Latina. You know, for example, I don't have an hourglass figure. But I do have like greasy hair, a permanent mustache, and like a really bad intolerance to chili. Yeah, everyone's like, don't you find that you're overtly sexualized being a Latina? I'm like, no. I don't have that problem. Growing up, the vibe was very like body shaped like a goddess. And for me, I'm pretty stout, so for me it's more like body shaped like a rhombus. And I'm okay with that. But yeah, so I grew up in Miami, Florida. My family is Panamanian, but I live here in London, which makes for some like conflicting observations, right? Like my family in Panama are always like, you are so American. And my friends in Miami are like, I just think you're really Latino. But all you guys in London are just like, I just find you really jarring. I get it. I'm on your level. I was at a restaurant the other day and there was a table of American girls right next to me. And I was listening into their conversation because I had no choice. And I just thought to myself, I was like, next time someone asks me if I'm from America, I'm going to be like, no hablo inglés. Done. Easy. So I grew up in Miami, Florida. Anyone ever been to Miami, Florida? Yeah. Any words? Like what comes to mind when you think about Miami? Correct. Anything else?
Faded.
What?
Faded.
Faded? Yeah. Faded as in like wasted? Or faded as in like melting away? Yeah, so that's sort of the vibe there. Miami is like a very toxic swampland built on dirty money. It's filled with beautiful Latin American women and men who like to fuck alligators. Sort of the vibe there. Growing up, I'm only realizing now that a lot of my friends' dads were actually drug dealers, right? Like I had one friend whose dad was 35, picked her up in a yellow Lamborghini from school once, and I thought, Gabriela, what does your dad do for a living? And she said, I think he's an entrepreneur. You just have to watch like one season of Ozark to figure out what that means. It's all you got to do. But it's interesting. I decided to move to London, right? So I could diversify my friend group. And by that, I mean leave the dirty money from Miami so I could like maybe marry into the royal family or something. Hoping that being Latina would like deem me interesting or exotic enough, that something like that could happen. So I decided to make friends in high places. And I befriended a girl called Cressida. I don't know if do you guys know her? Is she here? And I knew that Cressida came from money because when I asked her, she said, oh no, babe, I'm not rich. I'm upper middle class. That's how you knew. And now I'm really good friends with Cressida's friend group, Millie, Tilly, Lolly, Pilly, and Molly. We're all always hanging out, having a blast together. Absolutely. No, it's amazing. It's a lot of women supporting women. Like they'll all just like support each other when they leave their jobs and things like that. Like Molly would be like, isn't it so noble of Lily that to leave her job as a lawyer to start that line of bamboo-based yoga leggings? She's just gotten VC funding. And it turns out the VC's just her dad. It's amazing. I live in East London. Anyone ever go to East London? Yeah? Woo! Yeah, I just wanted to live by Brick Lane or in that area because I love vintage shopping. I love shopping secondhand. I really love to know where my pieces are from. So I came across this like super cute little place called Cash Converters. It's so adorable. And I got this necklace there and I was like, I need to know the provenance of this piece. So I asked the man, I was like, who made this? Like, tell me the story, like who brought this in? And they told me that someone dropped it off hours earlier because they needed money to buy crack. So shop local. Yeah, shop local. I'm the daughter of an immigrant. So I don't know if if you grew up with a, the son or daughter of an immigrant, you know that like your parents worked really hard so that, you're not allowed to complain. And I've been talking, I've been talking a lot to my mom about things like mental health. It's going okay. I'll be like, Mom, I have this thing called anxiety, like, have you ever felt this way? Like, do you know what I mean? And she goes, I heard about it, but I never seen it. I'll leave you on this. I started to be a little bit more open about my bisexuality, mainly because being quiet about it wasn't getting me enough attention. And I have friends that tell me, they're just like, like Estefania, like you should ditch men altogether. Like men are trash, men are trash. And while I do agree, like men can be trash sometimes, I just really do love to recycle. Thanks guys, I've been Estefania.
Hello friends, how you doing? Good stuff. I'm gonna start my set off with something very shocking for you. I actually don't like Oasis. A few Oasis heads in. Look, I got a bit of a, this is fun, isn't it? I got a bit of a, does have a job, but does do a bit of heroin on the side kind of vibe. That's what I'm going for. I'm going for train spotting with a pension plan. I got a name for this look. I call it a delinquent accountant. It's not really a joke, but it is fun to say, isn't it? Some of you may have noticed I'm a very bony fella. I'm a very angular man. Ex-girlfriend of mine once described a cuddling up with me as a cuddling up with a tote bag full of coat hangers. And it's out of order, isn't it? It's so out of order. And when someone says that, you got to be seen to be doing something about it. So I popped to the gym right now. I don't know if anybody here goes to the gym. If you don't, let me save you a little bit of time. I'll save you a little bit of money. It's a house of the sea. All right? First thing you see when you walk in my local gym is a big motivational slogan on the wall. It says, nobody ever said, I regretted that workout. First thing you see, walk in the door, nobody ever said, I regretted that workout. 6 feet along, on the same wall, defibrillator. Not fooling me, guys. A lot of liars in the gym, a lot of liars in fitness, fashion. You guys know there's a hiking brand called Trespass? Yeah. There aren't many rules in hiking. In fact, I say there's one thing you're not allowed to do when you're hiking. It's like having a swimming brand called Heavy Petting, man. I see a lot of people wearing Gymshark. I think it's very noble of a brand to step up and say, we'll label the predators in this arena. Says a lot about you, what you wear, doesn't it? Gymshark, I'm a predator. Nike, I love children. Who work 18-hour factory shifts. Adidas, bit of a legend. That's what I don't know. Yeah, I don't go to gym no more, man. Because it's boring. I get my exercise walking my dog. I love walking my dog because you see things when you walk the dog. The other day, I witnessed a couple have their very first kiss. I could tell it was a first kiss because it was very clumsy. It was very awkward. I was getting closer towards it, and I noticed it was one of those kisses where both people involved had forgotten everything and everyone else around them existed. She had a hand on his chest. He had a soft hand behind the ear. And as I walked past them, I said, "Oi, hey!" I appreciate your laughter, I really do, but just to let you know, shouting oi oi at kissing couples is in fact a very important part of my culture. I consider myself ethnically Cockney. It's a very serious term. It means I was born in the East End of London to a family who are from the East End of London. But when I was a little boy, we moved out to somewhere very exotic. Begins with a Z and it ends with an X. If there's anyone well-travelled in, nobody ever gets it. Zone 6. We moved out to Zone 6, man. That's a cheap gag, isn't it? I'm the son of a bricklayer and a dinner lady, right? And they're both refusing to let go of their working class identity. Yeah, my dad came around my flat the other week and he said to me, "Who the fucking hell do you think you are?" After opening up my fridge and seeing a jar of pesto in there. I said to him, "Dad, 8 mile, I'm looking after it for a friend." He didn't believe me, man. He tried to sit me down and make me the whole thing in one go. It was awful, man. It was awful. I live in South East London now. I love living in South East London. It's nice and rowdy. It keeps me on my toes. I got on the 177 the other day. Schoolboy at the back of the bus goes to me, "Oi, bruv, you look like an ugly Jared Leto." And yeah. I mean, look. I think I got more of a CBBC Super Hands thing going on. But, you know, what do you say to a 14-year-old kid after you kicked him in the fucking sternum? It's very tricky, man. It's very tricky. My local high street, Deptford High Street, was recently voted London's coolest high street. It was unfortunately by Time Out magazine. It's a bit like getting a spud off your nan after you've had a threesome, isn't it? It's not sexy anymore, Nan. It's not sexy anymore. I started working in Knightsbridge recently. I'll tell you this last thing before I go. There is absolutely nothing funnier in this world than a posh person expressing sadness at a minor inconvenience, right? I got out of Knightsbridge station the other day. I heard a bloke on the phone and he went, "Did you hear about Jonty? He lost a testicle." I said, "Oi, oi!" Thank you for listening.